जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी
गोपीजना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना
यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजना
यमुना तीरावनचारी
यमुना तीरावनचारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल
नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद
जय जय गुरुदेव श्रीपाद गुरुदेव श्रीपाद
जय जय गुरुदेव श्रीपाद गुरुदेव श्रीपाद
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 गुरुदेव
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 गुरुदेव
जय गुरुवारा शिला श्रीपाद की जय, जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय, श्री लक्ष्मण नरसिंह भगवान की जय, श्री गोपाल देव की जय हो, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्र महारानी की जय, जय जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्णचंद्र की जय, जय जय श्री श्री राधा माधव की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततो जयमुदीरये।
ततो जयमुदीरये।
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
भगवती उत्तमश्लोके
भगवती उत्तमश्लोके
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Bhaktir Naistiki.
Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 16. King Chitraketu meets Lord. Text number 55. Yena prasuptaha purushaha
Yena prashuptaha purushaha
swapam vedatmanastada
swapam vedatmanastada
sukham cha nirgunam brahma
sukham cha nirgunam brahma
tam atmanam avehimam.
tam atmanam avehimam.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ho. Know me to be the Supreme Brahman, the all-pervading Super Soul, through whom the sleeping living entity can understand his dreaming condition and his happiness beyond the activities of the material senses. This is to say, I am the cause of the activities of the sleeping living being. Please repeat. Know me
Know me
to be the Supreme Brahman,
to be the Supreme Brahman,
the all-pervading Super Soul,
the all-pervading Super Soul,
through whom
through whom
the sleeping living entity
the sleeping living entity
can understand his dreaming condition
can understand his dreaming condition
and his happiness
and his happiness
beyond the activities
beyond the activities
of the material senses.
of the material senses.
This is to say,
This is to say,
I am the cause
I am the cause
of the activities
of the activities
of the sleeping living being.
of the sleeping living being.
Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. When the living entity becomes free from false ego, he understands his superior position as a spirit soul, part and parcel of the pleasure potency of the Lord. Thus, due to Brahman, even while sleeping, the living entity can enjoy. The Lord says that Brahman, that Paramatma, and that Bhagavan are I myself. This is noted by Srila Jiva Goswami in his Karma Sandarbha. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Swarupa Damodara Swami Niti Namine Nama Sadbhakta Manaye Manipurudbhavaya Cha Prabhupada Sadvani Prachara Niratayate Jai Sri Krishna Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Deshitarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Guruvara Srila Shripad Ki Jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So this sloka and the previous sloka, the Lord is speaking about the dreaming, sleeping condition of the living entity. The previous sloka, when a person is in deep sleep, he dreams and he sees himself many other objects, such as great mountains and rivers, or perhaps even the entire universe, although they are far away. Sometimes, when one awakens from a dream, he sees that he is a human being. He is in a human form, lying in his bed in one place. Then he sees himself in terms of various conditions as belonging to a particular nationality, family, and so on. All the conditions of deep sleep dreaming and wakefulness are but energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should always remember the original creator of these conditions, the Supreme Lord, who is unaffected by them. And today's sloka, know me to be the Supreme Brahman, the all-pervading Super Soul, through whom the sleeping living entity can understand his dreaming condition and his happiness beyond the activities of the material senses. This is to say, I am the cause of the activities of the sleeping living being. So in the previous sloka, the Lord is establishing himself to be the cause of conditions of dreaming state, awakened state, and in this sloka, the Lord is emphasizing that he is the all-pervading super soul, Brahman and super soul, through whom the sleeping living entity can understand his dreaming condition and his happiness beyond the activities of the material senses. So, the Lord has created this universe, and then we interact with this universe. Similarly, the Lord creates the dreaming world. When we go to sleep, when we dream, there is a world there. There is a simulated world in which we interact, we entertain ourselves, or we get fear. We become fear, or various different ways we act. So that dreaming condition is also created by the Lord. Just like this universe is created by the Lord, that is also created by the Lord. Just like the video game example is very nice to understand in this condition, in this situation, especially related to dream. That somebody has created the game, then only we can play inside the conditions of the game. So similarly, it is the Supreme Personality of Godhead who creates the dream condition. In other words, the dream world, temporary dream world he creates, in which we interact even while we are sleeping. We act even while our body is sleeping. The Lord has created us another opportunity to exercise our desires and interact and experience the conditions. So that is the mercy of the Lord, that he created this world and further he created the dreaming condition, all for our benefit, all for our us to engage, because the soul by nature is active and it is full of desires. So when those desires are misguided or misdirected, so then Lord has to provide those conditions where our desires are fulfilled. Like a father who built a nice house for all his children, but some children develop a desire to live outside, separate. And he has many logics for that. Anyway, I interact only once in a day or once in a week, so I can come and see. So there is no big deal. So that desire itself is not so nice, but father being very nice, very kind and loving, he creates facility for the son to have a separate house where he can also emulate to be a father or head of the house, head of the home. And that is the whole purpose of staying separate. One can have the freedom of not having a another head above us. So this desire is our original, I mean to say, original error in our existence, that we try to be independent, that that is our nature. So because of the independent nature, the father has to create another house, another business, another so many things. Similarly, the Supreme Lord creates also another world itself, because we don't need to be here. We can be very nicely situated in the association of the Lord in his abode. But somehow our nature is like this since eternity. So the Lord since eternity is creating this world. It is this condition is created by the Lord. And even within this, there are some, this world, when this world is created, it has its rules, it has its set of rules, how it operates. So when the living entity being entangled, unable to satisfy some of his desires, so the Lord further creates another world, that is our dreaming condition, where we try to fulfill our desires, which are not being fulfilled in the real world. So therefore, it is the loving gesture of the Supreme Lord that we are living in this universe while we are awake, and also we have a dreaming conditions when we sleep. So if one understands this, he will engage in devotional service of the Lord. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samannitaha. So if one understands this fact, that it is the Lord who is creating even this universe when I am awake, the universe which I am living when I am awake, that is created by the Lord. And the dreaming world which I interact, that is created when I sleep, both are coming from the Lord. Both are created by the Lord. Of course, our desire is there in order to fulfill our desires. So if one is wise enough to understand that Krishna is the source of all these worlds, both physical and dreaming worlds, then Sarva Bhavena Bharata, one worships the Lord with all his heart. So sometimes we understand, but we don't sustain that understanding. Because as soon as we engage something different from Krishna, we forget that understanding, or we lose that understanding. We forget that understanding. Because when we engage ourselves in the activities that are separate from the Lord, separate from the service of the Lord, we fall from this understanding. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. So when we fall from that, when we cannot sustain that understanding, then we lose our devotional fervor. So just like in the presence of the Father, the person fully understands how he is maintained and how he is protected. But as soon as his as soon as he pursues something different from the arrangements of the Father, then he has to He will have to think as well as physically separate from the Father. So therefore, he will not be able to maintain the same fervor as before. So similarly, as soon as we engage in something different from the service of the Lord, so we have to lose that sustenance of the understanding that everything is emanating from the Lord. So if we continue serving the Lord, then we can sustain that understanding, and we can continue worshipping the Lord with all our hearts. So our endeavor is not to engage in anything that is not service of the Lord. That is how we sustain. There are no shortcuts, because the Lord is a very kind Father, so He is always accommodating our desires. So therefore, if we engage in our desires, then it is inevitable that we forget the Lord. It becomes inevitable and natural consequence, natural course to forget the Lord. So therefore, we should be careful enough and intelligent enough to plan our activity in such a way that we don't do anything which is not service to the Lord. We don't enter into a situation where we are forced to do some service which is not service of the Lord. We are forced to do something which is not service of the Lord. That is called intelligence. Intelligence is not to enter into such situation. Here we have to regret not being able to serve the Lord. So we should not play ourselves into the hands of others whose priority is not Krishna. That is intelligence. But because of desire to enjoy, we play ourselves into the hands of others. So therefore, we are sometimes act sometimes we act by our own desires in the activities separate from the Lord. And many times we are forced by others to act in the activities which is not service of the Lord. Because when we are acting according to our desires separate from the Lord, we take help from others. We use others. So therefore they feel they have they deserve to use us. So therefore, and we also feel obliged. Otherwise, in future, I will not be entertained. So in this way, we systematically get lost from the highway of devotional service, and hardly little time is there in a day where we can really convince that we are serving the Lord. So one should be intelligent enough to keep oneself in such situation where one is forced with the situation to remain in the service of the Lord. Right? Just like one get into the boat. When one get into the boat and travel little far, then he has no other option other than the boat itself. Whatever you do in the boat. So like that, Guru and Krishna have created there so many boats. Every Guru, every Sri Guru has a boat. He is a captain. Somehow we get into that boat and sustain ourselves. Soon we'll find that we have no other world than the boat itself. Whatever we do, everything is available in the boat. In the beginning, we'll be forced to do inside that boat or ship, whatever you say. So that is intelligence. Intelligence is not doing things expertly or in less time or influencing more people in less time. This is all ordinary intelligence. Real intelligence is that how I save myself, how I save myself from being engaged in other engagements. So this is the real intelligence. So if one is inclined in such a way, the Lord will help. So this is one part. Another part is that the Lord is saying that because of the Lord, the living being can understand his dreaming condition. Many times when we dream, we don't know that we are dreaming. We think that that is the only existence. The dream world is the only existence. And we do not know that there is our existence beyond the dream, which is lying on the bed, that body which is lying on the bed and dreaming. We completely forget. That's why when we see a tiger in the dream, we feel so frightened because we don't remember it is a dream. And we don't remember that our existence, true existence, is outside the dream. So therefore, we think this is the only my existence and I am going to lose my existence. So therefore, we get frightened so much in the dream. But there are some instances where we understand that we are dreaming even before we come out of the dream. Before we get up, or we have some experiences where we transit from dream to the reality, or we will be still dreaming. Just we are getting up and dreaming is still continuing, and we are aware of our dreaming condition, that we are dreaming, and also what is happening in the dream. So in that condition, we will not be affected by what is happening in the dream because we understand that it is a dream, and we take it easy and take best use of bad bargain without being affected. So similarly, so that awareness, that is also arrangement of the Lord. It is by the mercy of the Lord that one can have such experience. So similarly, this world, this physical world where we are living now, right now, it is like a dreaming condition to the original existence of the spirit soul, where we accepted this body. So again, we can understand this world to be false. Again, by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Again, by the mercy of the Lord. As Srila Jiva Goswami is mentioning, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning, when the living entity becomes free from the false ego, he understands his superior position as spirit soul. So this is where actually Lord operates this false ego. He removes our false ego when we are Sevan Mukohi Jihvado, when we are favorably situated, when we become Sevan Mukhi. Now we have become Enjoy Mukhi or Kaman Mukhi. We have oriented ourselves. Our orientation is how to enjoy. But when we become our orientation, when we become enthusiastic or orient ourselves to serve the Lord, then the Lord will remove this false ego, false understanding that this world is real. We are acting as if this is real, isn't it? Dream we understand very well, but this life, we don't extend that understanding to this life and understand that this is also dreaming condition because my real existence is the pure spirit soul. That understanding also the Lord gives if we change our orientation to Krishna. So again, it is by the mercy of the Lord, one becomes Jivan Mukta. Means one who understands that his present situation is a dreaming condition. So who is Jivan Mukta? who is simultaneously realized that he is dreaming, lying on the bed. That means one who understands that he is in this present body, but he is not this body, spirit, soul, and he understands his eternal position as a servant of the Lord. So therefore, his actions in this world are without any attachment, and make best use of bad bargain. That means make best use of this dreaming condition to completely orient in himself to serve the Lord. Use this dreaming situation to serve the Lord without attachment. So therefore, he is unaffected. He is unaffected by the material conditions. So that is a symptom of a person who has received the mercy of the Lord to understand that actually this universe is a dream. This universe is like a dreaming condition. It is a false. I am falsely attached myself. So he is called a Vidvams or learned person. And what is the symptom? He works without attachment because it has no value. Like in the dream, gold as well as stone, they have the same value. Both have no value actually. If you understand that dream is going on, so the gold and stone in the dream has no value. Both are same. It's going to disappear very soon, and have no real value. But if you can use the dream to modify your consciousness, you donate, you give up the gold for a good cause in the dream. So if you can learn something in the dream like that, you can act the same way in the real world too, because you have gained that experience of giving and giving up and acting without attachment. So similarly, in this world, if we can similarly act in that consciousness will carry. Nothing of this world will carry. Neither gold nor money, nor our close friends, relatives, or whoever. Nothing will carry from this world. Only thing that carries from this is our purified consciousness. And that is the best use of this world. That is the best use of this dreaming condition. So without knowing this reality, we are uselessly being attached to so many unwanted things and wasting our valuable opportunity in the human form of life to realize that this is just a dream and not being carried away like animals. So it's such a great opportunity. The Lord has given this human form to give this blessing, but we have to orient ourselves, because the consequence of being bestowed with the realization that this is a dream, the next condition is Krishna and Nityadas. But if we are not ready for Krishna and Nityadas, then we need to continue in this dreaming condition, thinking it to be reality. Like we are laboriously accumulating gold in the dream. And for that we are undergoing so many tribulations, going into forest, being chased by tigers, lions. That experience also is there. We undergo. Though the dream is false, we undergo the experience. But that has no true value in the real world. So therefore, the dreaming condition can be best used to purify the consciousness. And Lord, being creator of the both worlds, dream world and this world, he can enter himself in the both worlds to interact with us. So if we can get to this understanding that this world is false, temporary, and for all false designations, and I am still hankering for more false designations. That is irony. We come to the Krishna consciousness, understood the goal of life, but still Instead of giving up these designations, we are still trying for more designations. That is a irony of our journey. But if we are serious about our goal of life, then we must make a switch, make a turn. So therefore, this dreaming condition of this world becomes meaningful for our eternity. Otherwise, just like we had infinite dreams so far in this world, infinite times we enjoy in this world, it will become one more, infinity plus one, another infinity. But this infinity can be made into zero by realizing that this is a dream, by accepting that this world is false. Choice is ours. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Any questions, please come forward. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, moderator Prabhuji. Can anyone unmute yourself?
Hare Krishna Maharaji. Yes, go ahead, Maharaji, please.
Hare Krishna, thank you for muting.
Hare Krishna. Dandat Pranam Maharaj. Maharaj, we are not hearing you. Please unmute.
Advantage either of a dream or dream-like over each other, because the material world, its manifestation is dealing our engrossment. It is compared to a dream, you know. So when comparison is made, there are some common similarities, but at the same time, we cannot say that it is dream, because as you described wonderfully, Maharaj, that in dream one has no control. Correct? One is just stuck there until the dream comes out. But, in the material world in its dealing, one can come out, you know. From that point of view, however we compare or describe this material world as dream, the reality, it is not dream. Your comment and elaboration. Like, how we take advantage if there is one over the dream in this material world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Yeah, Maharaj, in the dream also we have we can act as we like, but coming out is not in our hands. Similarly, coming out of this world is also not in our hands. But we can take up the process. It is ultimately the Supreme Lord who takes us out of this world. And the Lord has given different the process by which we can realize that this is a dream. But of course, in the dream, such a facility is not there to realize that it is a dream. But it is quite possible that Lord can also give us such a dream that where we can also understand that it is a dream while we are dreaming. That is completely up to the Lord. It is quite possible. And definitely, yes, dream and real world are different, but many similarities than differences. This world is as real as the dream, because we have to think what is actually real. So the dream, the body which we see in the dream is also created. That is a different matter. And the body which is now we feel in our real world, this is also created with another matter. Both are created with different types of matters. Like virtual reality, which we say, the virtual reality is also made up of something. It is not out of nothing. It is made up of something. The simulation requires something. It is made of something. So this world is, so ultimately that is also some energy, and this world is also some energy which manifests in a way that we can think it is real. Same in the dream also. So there are more similarities than the difference. And the main similarity that we have to take from the example is that it is a false temporary situation. It is real but temporary. Similarly, the dream is also real but temporary. It appears false when we wake up, as if something doesn't exist, we don't see it. So similarly, this world also will be like that only. When we become liberated, it doesn't exist for us. We don't see this world. It will remain like a dream, experience of a dream. So both are equally real and both are equally false. It only is a matter of going one level up. So, of course, they are not identical, but a lot of difference are there because principle is same. Because creating some false identity, false body, and taking that as a reality. And based on our desire, Lord being the fulfiller in the both situations, that He facilitates both the dreams, this world dream and the dream within the dream. So this world is really a dream, like a dream. So as long as we are here, we cannot say that like a dream, but because for us this is real, it has not yet become false. So therefore we compelled to think that this is different from dream, because we are now out of the dream, so that remains like a false thing, but we are stuck in this dream which appears to be very, very real, and we don't have experience of going out of this dream and experiencing this world as also false. But one who has gone out of this also, or one who is above this world also, he can see both as the same conditions, similar conditions. And definitely there will be differences, but they are not of great concern for us, because what we want to learn from the dream is because our present existence is like a dream condition. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, sometimes we forget the difference. Actually, difference is our advantage. If there was no difference, we would be totally lost. And that's why they say the beauty or the advantage or the good thing about dream is that it will be over.
Yes.
And then we are left with nothing out of the dream. We are left. But in the material world, if we are just a shock, somebody gives a shock. Why are you daydreaming? There is a word like daydreaming, correct? He just he's with his money or his property, his loved one, and he's just dreaming even during the daytime. So, he can be awakened. So that's the advantage I was thinking from that point of view.
From the dream also, we carry our experience from the dream, Maharajji.
But nothing we hold on.
Holding on, we once we also realize this world as a dream, that also we cannot hold on to anything. The only thing that will come with us is our experience or our consciousness. conscious experience, or what our consciousness is being trained in this atmosphere.
We cannot hold on in the material world ultimately. That's the difference between dream and this world. It is not that I realize that, oh, this world is temporary, I have to die in 30 years, but I have 30 years to live, and that's real. I have some money, that is real. I cannot hold on to it forever.
Yes,
That's
that
why
condition is related to the condition where sometimes we dream but also realize that we are sleeping on the bed. There are some instances like that.
Yeah.
So at that time, because we are not fully out, but we can still act as if it is a dream. So in this world also, the person who realized, he can act without being attached. So temporary, we didn't say it is fully false, it is temporary. That's how it is false. So having realized that this is temporary, he will act without attachment for his ultimate benefit and ultimate benefit of others, which transcend this dreaming condition.
Beautiful. So however dream-like this may be, it has usefulness, unlike the dream.
However dreamful? Sorry, Maharaj.
However dream-like this world is, it has usefulness, unlike the dream, because once one comes out of dream, he has nothing to hold on to it.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Maharaj, we will stop here. We will see any other questions are there. And yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, Balramji, please.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Dandavad Pranam. Very nice discussion. I just want to add one line before asking my question. So, when Maharaj said that we can't hold on to the material world also, but we cannot hold on to the dream world also, because once pralaya occurs, all the mind, ego, everything wipes out. So we cannot hold on to any of these worlds. And from that point of view, the dream world can be more or less temporary than the material world. This also suggests that. Yeah, but my question is, we have Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, and Bhagavanati Chati. So here in this sloka, it says that the Brahman and the Super Soul, the Paramatma, are the same exactly. And that is what that's why we could understand the dream situation. So what actually is the difference then? Why we have three different manifestations? Okay, Bhagavan, we can understand this is the personal form, but Brahman and Paramatma, these two are the same thing. Yeah. So why then we have two different things? Could you explain that?
Hari, well, very nice, Prabhuji. Nice question. So, three are Krishna only, acting in a different way. Bhagavan, we understand that Krishna himself, and Paramatma and Brahman, they are required because the living entity still not ready to remember the Lord. The living entity is still not Sevan Mukhe. Is still not ready to associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So therefore the Lord acts the way the Super Soul acts, because he hides in the heart of the living entity and keep guiding the living entity. Just like a loving father who guides his son who left his home, he keeps helping in incognito. So though the living entity has left the Lord, Lord has not left the living entity. So that is Paramatma. And Brahman, again, because the living entity is trying to live in a condition where he doesn't see Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has to sustain this world in avyakta murtina, in unmanifest form. If you see God everywhere, then how will you forget him and how can you be happy? Right? You are trying to go to a movie and your father shows up at the movie theater. So will you be able to enjoy the movie? No, you will not be able to enjoy because you are going without telling your father or against the wishes of your father. Similarly, nothing can exist without the Lord, but because we have a desire not to see the Lord, so therefore the Lord sustains this universe in his unmanifest feature. So both Paramatma and Brahman are due to our desire to not see the Lord, or result of our desire to be independent of the Lord, or having accepted this body with that desire. So in the both ways, the Lord, in one case guiding us, in another case sustaining this this world in the avyakta murtina. Hare Krishna, Balaram Prabhuji.
Maharaj, it's not very clear because when we say Paramatma is all pervading, Brahman is also all pervading. So what is the difference? And in the dream state, in this sloka, it's written that I mean both are same. In dream state, he remembers everything. And later, if we try to understand the dreaming condition, then we can get the information from Brahman or Paramatma if he wants. So in this case, I mean, Supreme Brahman and Supreme Soul, both are the same, isn't it?
Both are same and different also.
Yeah, the difference I like to understand, yes. Yeah,
difference is that from the Paramatma, you forget that you are sleeping on the bed and you accept that your new identity. And to Brahman, the whole dreaming world is created by the Brahman, to the impersonal feature of the Lord.
That also includes us, isn't it?
Not us, not you. The character you accept in the dream, not you. Here also in this world, he's not creating us, he's creating the body that we accept. So anyways, we should accept that we cannot comprehend the Lord fully. We cannot comprehend the Paramatma, and Brahman we cannot at all comprehend anything, because one of its characteristic is inconceivable. Brahman is inconceivable. We cannot conceive, and the details are not there. So you have to be happy with whatever details are available. And because mechanism has no end, mechanism is infinitely deep. Causes, the infinite causes before we reach to the final cause, Krishna. So this world is created in such a way that we have no access to beyond certain reality. Like in quantum mechanics, we have no access beyond uncertainty. Uncertainty manifests, means Lord is not allowing us to go beyond that. So we are stuck at the uncertainty, means we keep guessing, no problem. So finally, anyway, we will be left with confusion. Why don't we let allow some little confusion and focus on Krishna. Right? We have spent so many hundreds of years, finally came to this confusion of quantum uncertainty. Right? So, whatever little confusion is there, why don't we allow it to be there and we give it time to understand if Krishna wants to give us that understanding without going after that understanding, without going all after that understanding. Why don't we go all after Krishna? That is more what we call profitable or more useful than going after this mechanistic understanding. That we should understand that Krishna is there behind all this, and I will not be able to understand beyond some point. So now whatever present understanding is there, let me be satisfied now, because even if you go deep, at one point you have to be satisfied that okay, I will not be able to understand. Right? So better engage. Like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, what use is there of all this knowledge? Just a minute fraction of mine is creating and sustaining this entire universe. You understand the gravity of that statement. And we, the living entity, is very, very, very minute. So even if we spend the whole of our life, we will not be able to understand, minute of the minute of the minute of the minute. For that, we waste our valuable life. So give little time to that, not much time, but majority of the time, all time, go all out for Krishna Seva, not all out for resolving the mysteries, because mysteries will never be gone. Mysteries will always be there. So if one interested to unravel these mysteries one after another without dedicating oneself to Krishna, he is called a Gnani. So Gnani's pleasure is in this mysteries of the matter. But the devotee's interest is in the magician who is creating these mysteries. So be interested in Krishna more and allow some confusion, no problem. When Krishna gives understanding, we will know. We will come back to that later. Let me engage in Krishna Seva when that time slot comes.
Yes, Maharaj. That's nice. Yes.
We are not very particular, or we will not insist understanding right now. Right? Krishna, give me patience right now. Like that. Krishna, please give me understanding right now. So we don't ask Krishna, we don't insist Krishna to give you understanding. We insist Krishna to give seva. That right we have. Understanding, depending on what we need to do, Krishna will give in the course of time.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Achit Prabhuji, please.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Maharaj.
Dandavat Prabhuji.
Achha Maharaj, this here when we experience that when we are dreaming and we wake up, so times we forget the dream, sometimes we remember the dream, that what we were experiencing.
Right.
This is one question. Another is that when person is liberated, I'm talking about the pure devotee, means still they are their consciousness is completely with Krishna, but still they have to stay in this world to help other devotees, other people in this world. So how for them is to act, like if you are telling that when you wake up, then it will be like a dreaming situation, this world. But I feel for me little bit difference is there, if you can explain.
So what is the question?
My question.
I did not understand